The distinctive orange and black Monarch butterfly is a welcome summer visitor in much of southern Canada. Sadly, the monarch is in trouble. Scientists estimate that the monarch population has fallen by as much as 90% since the mid-1990s. Pesticides, habitat loss, and climate change are only a few of the threats that these fragile creatures face. At their home in Winnipeg, Manitoba, June Dirksen and Rob Mravnik have transformed their backyard into a haven for monarchs. So far, in 2021, they have raised over 100 adult butterflies.
I got started when I found my first probably half a dozen caterpillars in the garden on the milkweed. And what I did was I brought them to the table. I put the milkweed in a jar and I thought, oh, this is great. I'll be able to sit here and watch them develop, and went inside and came back about an hour later. And what had happened is I went from 6 to 1.5 caterpillars, and I didn't realize what was going on. I'm looking all over the table for them, figured they didn't like where I put them, so they crawled away. Turns out it was a wasp. Came back for the other half of the caterpillar, and so I was left with one caterpillar. From there on, we started raising the caterpillars in the gazebo.
Monarchs only live for 2 to 6 weeks, except for the final generation of the summer. That generation will live for up to 8 months, and in the fall, those butterflies set out on a 3,000 to 5,000 kilometer migration to winter in the mountain forests of Mexico. For some, their remarkable journey starts here.
So when we go around and gather food for the caterpillars, we usually go for younger plants. They seem to enjoy that better. We take them into the gazebo and they're washed. We have to make sure that when we're harvesting the milkweed for food, that we don't accidentally bring in predators like spiders. That's a big one. So that's why I use a basin full of water and I submerge the milkweed in there, and any spiders will float to the top. We're very careful. We don't use any toxic substances in the garden. We don't spray our lawns. We don't use the tick oil on the dogs, or I'm not wearing any kind of bug spray, because that can transfer to the plants, which in turn can harm the caterpillars when they're feeding on the plants. You have to be really careful with toxic poisoning that way. They're very, very sensitive.
While wind, predators, and hot weather are all threats, the biggest risks to the monarchs are all human-caused. Vehicles and roadway pollution kill as many as 25 million monarchs every year. Agricultural chemicals have contaminated water and drastically reduced the availability of milkweed along migratory routes. Planting native milkweed for caterpillars and local species of flowers to feed adult butterflies in your yard is the best way that you can help save the monarchs. Reduce your use of pesticides and buy organic produce if it's available. And finally, appreciate these beautiful creatures when you see them. You truly are in the presence of royalty.